Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this unboxing and flip through of the Drifting Moon Tarot Major Arcana Edition. This is a Major Arcana deck only that I backed on Kickstarter. The illustrator is Lee White. The guidebook is by Grace Selene, and it is only 22 cards plus the guidebook. But I was really drawn to the artwork that I saw, which my understanding is it's supposed to really tap into the concepts of intuition and magic and feeling like a childlike joy. So this here is the box. It is a magnetic clamshell box. I really love this aqua blue color here. It's looking a little bluish on the screen, but here it's more like a teal green. And the lettering is kind of like gold lifted. And on the back here, it says, in a hyper-fast world that seems to be spinning out of control, the Drifting Moon Tarot offers something slow and dreamy, a sense of magic that asks you to sit and stay a while. Through the core lessons of the 22 Major Arcana cards, Lee White's whimsical images will take you on a journey of the soul. And here is his website, www.leewhiteillustration.com. And there is, I believe, a plan to have some minor Arcana cards in the future, but this was major only. Here is the inside of the box, and it says, "Not all who wander are lost." J.R.R. Tolkien. So here, this box here came in a plastic wrap that I took off before doing this video, and I believe the stretch goal rewards are simply to make the cards more sturdy, the box nicer, so there's no like additional stickers or bookmarks or postcards type of thing. Here is the guidebook. There's a message from Grace, who put the words into the guidebook. And then it gets into a description of all the cards. I did receive an email recently from the illustrator Lee White, who said the judgment description is not in this guidebook, and I do see it is missing. He sent us some time ago a PDF color version of the guidebook with some sketches that inspired each card and a little note about what those cards were. It seems like here in this guidebook, there's much more focus on simply the description here, but the one that was emailed to us, it had the kind of a short description of the judgment card and kind of like why he chose certain images to portray certain cards here. So it looks like after the cards are kind of described upright and reversed, there's nothing else There's no kind of information about clearing the decks or spreads to use, things like that. So might as well just go ahead and take a look at this message from Grace to see what it says. Dear one, here you'll find the less traveled path leading you to nourish your connection with your intuition. Tarot is a tool that can be used for reflection and discovery on your personal journey. As you practice consistently, a sacred ritual forms, enhancing your life in countless ways. Hidden parts of yourself are ready to drift into the moonlight. These words have found their way into your hands to reveal what you need to know most as you wander into the unknown. Symbols with deeper meanings appear to awaken your infinite soul. Stories woven through the cards reunite you with your inner child, unveiling the whimsical nature of life's countless expressions. Whether you come to your cards in moments of mystery, contemplation, or deep internal inquiry, each one serves as a guide, walking you home to your truest self. Piece by piece, card by card, you'll start to recognize who you truly are. A magnificent being of love. You are divinely guided and infinitely protected. Love, Grace. That's cute. Okay, so let's get into this close-up flip through. So we start out with the Fool card here, and you can see the unicycle the Fool is riding. The illustrator wanted to make it seem like this is something that is not really practical and something that is more childlike, something that you just aren't really going to get somewhere fast. It's not going to be easy. You might fall off, but something that is kind of silly and fun as well. Similar with these rabbit ears, trying to give a sense of being childlike, and with these, 3 fish on a string that look like balloons. It's as if being tied to ideas that just really don't make sense. And then these thorns here are supposed to indicate that the Fool is riding into a path where there's perils ahead, though the Fool might not know it. And here's the back of the card with the gold reflective, what are these images? It looks like flying ice cream cones. That's awesome. Stars, little squiggly things. So here we have the Magician, and the illustrator wanted to put this concept of kind of like heaven and earth meeting, and the Magician being able to tap into the angels up above, and the angels sending down these stars that when they reach earth from heaven start turning into butterflies, something that we are more familiar with. And you can see here the Magician is standing on top of the world here. So if heaven and earth aren't really concepts that you kind of buy into for tarot, you can still just go by as above, so below. Here we have the High Priestess. I guess these are moonflowers. The Empress here. So the illustrator, instead of making the Empress pregnant, put kind of nature, things that you would find in nature, and also with the influence of magic. That's why there's these little kind of dragon-like things under the cloak of the Empress, to kind of indicate that tie with nurture and nature. Here with the Emperor, you can see the Emperor is chasing stars, riding this elephant. There's supposed to be a sense of royalty, and when you have all your kingdom pretty much watched over, figured out, you've had this experience to have like a structure in place and healthy boundaries, being able to kind of control your world. And in your free time, you're out there chasing stars. Here we have the Hierophant. And what's interesting to me about this is the imagery is reminiscent of the hermit, being out there on a mountaintop with a lantern of wisdom and knowledge of the journey that the hermit has been on. But this is the Hierophant, which is kind of riding this mountain on the back of a book, and there's these book swans, I guess, flying nearby, and the Hierophant's holding a key to represent being a teacher and sharing knowledge, sharing experience. Here, the Lovers, to indicate partnership, companionship, and kind of yin-yang aspects, and shaped like birds. Here is the Chariot, riding something that looks bird-like carriage, perhaps. Here is Strength, and this is more aligned with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith type of imagery for the Strength card. Here is the Hermit, and the Hermit is kicking it on this huge mushroom with an owl, just chilling, choosing to be there, choosing to be alone, doing what the hermit wants to do, but not necessarily being lonely. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. The illustrator wanted to make it kind of this concept of change and like not just like a change in the wind type of thing, but actually like physical moving in the terms of changing. Here's this Justice card. One side of the scale is books, the other side it's like flowers and leaves, to indicate this concept of knowledge that you get from like books or scholastic academic knowledge, and then the knowledge that you get from, living life. There was this idea of nature versus nurture, but both being together to balance out this concept of knowing cause and effect, or knowing what is a fair result. You have the hanged man with this cocoon wrap. It looks like this person is sleeping in one of those sleeping bags that you would use when you're camping out in the cold snow area. That's what it looks like to me. Here is this death card. I think it's really cool. This creature here is supposed to be, carrying you from what's left behind onto a path where there's new opportunities for you, and where the candles are on these antlers is supposed to kind of indicate that there is like a light on the path ahead, and then you have these ghosts that represent the past being left behind. Here with these mountains on the temperance card, it's supposed to indicate temptation, a little bit like what you would expect for the devil. And here this individual is on this little boat being tempted by this, I think they're supposed to be sirens, or kind of inspired by the concept of sirens. This siren is trying to tempt the boating person with a swan harp, and then there's a basket of apples over here, and it looks like there's a boat that's probably like sunk over here, like an old boat, and then there is a siren in the background here that's holding, I don't know if it's a jewel or a lantern, right in front of a big rock sticking out of the water. So the concept here is, despite the different temptations on one side or the other, to really just go that middle ground, that middle path, that middle road. Here is the devil, and the illustrator wanted to kind of portray this concept of the devil being someone who is probably hidden amongst us without people knowing it, and that's why there's this happy face mask. And here's the bound person or bound soul or individual that is enslaved by the devil, and the bridge is supposed to represent like the different realms that you can cross into. Now here is the tower. It's pretty much like the traditional tower with the lightning bolt and the fire. You can see these kind of grayish images of individuals leaping out of the tower. Here is the star, and the concept behind this is there's an individual playing the piano, and these stars are the kind of inspiration, maybe in the form of like the musical notes, but they're stars, and it pretty much kind of floats out there for others, giving this idea of hope being something that is like other people being inspired, or like grabbing onto inspiration that others might have or share with them. Here is the moon. You can see these little bunny rabbits here as this individual is rowing this moon boat down a river, and the bunny rabbits are supposed to represent innocence. Even though you've got these cute little bunny rabbits on the side, some of us, as we move down a path where there's a lack of clarity, our imagination starts running wild and starts playing upon our doubts and fears. But really, there's just bunny rabbits out there. Here is the sun peeking over the mountain, looking at this little individual. down here, kind of saying, you did it. Yay, congratulations. Whatever you did, be happy. I see you, you see me. Here is the judgment card, and the concept with the flowers is supposed to indicate springtime. There's a little bunny rabbit, and the background is kind of like a grayish bluish green to indicate winter. And this concept of, I think it's like resurrection or reincarnation, being depicted by, things coming to life, like springtime in the winter, or bringing spring to the winter. I forgot the exact phrase that was used, but that's why there's that imagery. And here we are with the world card. You can see the Fool no longer has the bunny ears, but still has the unicycle, and is crossing this finish line on a turtle with a top hat. Perhaps the journey was slower than anticipated, or the new journey is going to be slower than expected. There's still like these thorns ahead, because it's going to be a new journey with new perils and obstacles. And apparently, if you look close to the shell here on the turtle, it is supposed to be continents, or shapes of the continents of the world, as if it's a globe. So here again is the back of the card, and the cards are pretty thick. Believe the size of the card is 3.5 inches by 5 inches. I don't know the card's stock, but I can't really even bend it. It's a little bit bendy. So let's see about shuffling this. It is only 22 cards. I feel like it would go very well with my Cirque du Tarot deck. I have a video on that out as well, but it's kind of got the same type of, I don't know if it's like water paint look to it, but I think it would go well with that tarot deck. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull one of the cards and this is me shuffling it. It doesn't really seem, it looks like this fold in is fine. Let's see. Yeah, it seems fine. I just don't want to bend it, because I think it's really, really beautiful. I really like the back of these cards, and even it looks like there's like underneath the gold foil, there's like a lace pattern, not lace pattern, like flower patterns or paisleys or something underneath it, that is either like a gray or a darker teal. So I really want to make sure that these cards last a while. And I'm noticing that there's some kind of, on the edges, some kind of bend a little bit, or is it a smudge? I don't know if it's intentional, but it looks like all the cards have like a little, I don't know, like a watermark. Maybe it is intentional, but here is the Fool. And I thought it was a bend. It looks like a bend, but it's not. It must be just, part of the design of the card. We'll go with that. But okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and pull a card, and I'll read from the guidebook, so you get a feel for it. And the card is just going to be, what kind of wisdom this deck has for me. Have the High Priestess. So let's go ahead and read from this guidebook about the High Priestess. Embracing the moon within her arms, the High Priestess is nurturing her connection to her intuition. She holds many ancient secrets, and the wisdom she keeps is quietly unfolding and gently blossoming all around her. Surrounded in nature, embracing the darkness, moonflowers blossom, and she's confident in the growth she can orchestrate in her life. The High Priestess never needs to scream or force her inner knowing upon anyone for her to feel secure in what she holds true. She's comfortable in her own darkness and shows you that you can be too. You're brave enough to grow beyond your doubts. The High Priestess appears to remind you to honor your magic and to trust in your ability to connect with your intuition. She guides you with spiritual insight. The inner knowing that's glowing from deep within your core is what drives your energy towards your desires. You're learning to trust in this inner magic. Reversed, experiencing self-doubt and mishandling secret, sensitive information. So that's really nice. Okay, so that's what I have for you in terms of the Drifting Moon Tarot. If you have any comments about using this Major Arcana deck or questions, let me know. Thanks so much and take care.